There is a sound on TikTok that has been used in roughly 2 billion videos. I can't talk right now. I'm doing sad, gifted kid burnout shit. It plays under footage of adults in their late 20s on unmade beds at 2 in the afternoon, staring at unsubmitted job applications, abandoning hobbies the second they aren't immediately good at them. The phrase entered the lexicon in early 2021. The pattern is older than that. There is a cartoon that diagnosed it. It first aired on Cartoon Network in April 1996. We watched it for 7 years and called it a comedy about a boy genius. It was actually a documentary about what was about to happen to all of us. It's called Dexter's Laboratory. Look at the lab. Inside the universe of the show, Dexter is a small boy with glasses thicker than his face. He speaks with a Russian accent his entire American family does not share. He lives with 2 parents and an older sister named Dee Dee behind a bookshelf in his bedroom, accessed by speaking the password, which is canonically the words Star Wars. Dexter has built a laboratory. The lab is enormous. It runs underground beneath the neighborhood. It contains a particle accelerator, a fleet of robots, a time machine, a mech suit. He built it himself. He is approximately 8 years old. His parents have never seen it. It is the size of a small industrial facility. It is in their house. They do not see it. That is the show's entire premise. The kid built a self his parents cannot see. Now be precise about what the lab is. It is not a hobby. It is not a hideout. The lab is Dexter's identity infrastructure. It is the room he goes to in order to be the version of himself that is allowed to exist. Every invention is a deposit on a single bank account that pays out exactly 1 currency, confirmation that he is exceptional. His parents do not ask about his feelings or his friends. They notice him when he produces evidence that he is special, and the rest of the time he is wallpaper. So he produces evidence. Constantly, he has constructed a private factory whose only product is his own worth. Now watch what happens when his intelligence fails. Multiple episodes have the same structure. Dexter loses his glasses and can't see. Dexter is forced to take a test he can't ace. Dexter is asked to do something physical. Dexter is asked to do anything other than be the smart one in the room. He breaks down. He has tantrums. He cries. He cannot function. He has never built any other skill. The only language he speaks fluently is the language of being the smartest person in a small room. When that fails, he has nothing. There is a 3rd season episode called A Boy Named Sue. Mandark, Dexter's recurring rival, the boy genius next door, sits in his lab and tells the audience how he became evil. He was not born evil. He was born in a swimming pool to 2 hippie parents named Ocean Bird and Windbear. They named him Susan. They wanted a name without gender connotations. He was a gentle, brilliant little boy who built small machines because he loved making things. One day, Susan moved next door to Dexter. He walked over to introduce himself. He wanted a friend. Dexter laughed at him, called him a little girl, mocked his name. Susan went home, cut his hair, changed his name to Mandark, a combination of man and dark, and dedicated the rest of his life to destroying the boy who had mocked him. The most uncomfortable thing about Dexter's laboratory is also the most accurate one. Dexter is not the underdog. Dexter is the bully. The villain of the show is the kid Dexter was given the chance to be friends with and dismissed for being weird. The smartest kid in the room is, almost always, also the cruelest. The gifted child does not learn empathy by accident. He learns that other people are obstacles to optimize around or rivals to outperform. Anyone who is not useful to the project of confirming his specialness is by default a nuisance. Mandark is not a villain who fell from the sky. Mandark is what Dexter manufactured. Now look at his sister. Dee Dee is older than Dexter. She is a ballerina. She wears a pink tutu in every episode. She breaks into the lab roughly 3 times per episode, presses the largest red button she can find, says, "Ooh, what does this button do?" and watches the world detonate behind her. This is the show's running gag. The audience laughs. Dexter screams, "Now watch closely." Dee Dee is the only person in the entire run of the show who has ever been inside the lab. Not his parents, not his teachers, not his friends, just Dee Dee every single day for 7 years. She is the one person who has ever seen what he built. She does not understand it. She does not respect it. She just enjoys him. He treats her like the worst thing that ever happened to him. On December 10th, 1999, Cartoon Network aired its first original television movie. It was called Ego Trip. Jindy Tartakovsky directed it. It was originally intended to be the series' finale. Dexter, in the opening scene, is attacked by a group of robots that have appeared from his time machine. They declare they are here to destroy the one who saved the future. Dexter assumes this is him. He climbs into the machine and travels forward in time to find out how cool he becomes. In the first future, he finds his adult self. The adult Dexter is tall, thin, weak, and works in a beige office cubicle designing other people's cubicles for a living. His name in this future is Number 12. He has a boss. The boss is Mandark. Mandark owns the company. Mandark torments him daily. Adult Dexter cannot stand up for himself. Child Dexter is horrified. This cannot be him. He travels further. In the next future, he is the senile leader of a utopia but cannot remember how he got there. Further along, he meets a third self. Muscled, bearded, fighting machines in a wasteland. The four Dexters team up to defeat Mandark, who is now a brain in a jar trying to crush the world. They fight him in the final battle. They are about to lose. And then Dee Dee, who has wandered in through the time portal because she pressed a button, presses another button and saves the world. It was Dee Dee. It was always Dee Dee. She is the one who saved the future. The Dexters react with rage that their sister stole their thunder. They build robots and send them back through time to attack her. Those are the robots that attacked Dexter in the first scene of the movie. Dexter created the entire problem himself, trying to be the hero. And this is where it stops being about Dexter. I was a gifted child. I was told this so often that I assumed it was the most important thing about me. Around 19, the world stopped finding it remarkable because the world is full of formerly gifted children and the supply badly outstrips the demand. I sat in a room for almost 3 years, not finishing things. I would start a project, find a part of it difficult, decide that difficulty meant I had been wrong about myself, and walk away. I had no skill for difficulty. I had only the skill of being the fastest person in a small room. Take me out of the room, and I had nothing to offer but a stale credential and a deep secret fear that the smartest part of me had peaked in 8th grade. The lab works until it doesn't. Most of the gifted kids you knew growing up built one. The lab was a code project, a sketchbook, a piano they practiced 6 hours a day, a graduate school application they revised 43 times, a single career identity they built before they were old enough to know there were others, a private room that confirmed our specialness while the world steadily stopped doing that for free. And like Dexter's lab, ours had the same problem, a self designed to function inside its own walls and nowhere else. The moment the room got bigger, the self got smaller. The phrase gifted kid burnout went viral on TikTok in early 2021. The cartoon that diagnosed it stopped airing in 2003. We watched it for 7 years. We laughed at the explosions. We laughed at Dee Dee. We laughed at Mandark. We were watching the entire architecture of our own coming adulthood play out for laughs on a Saturday morning, and we did not have the vocabulary yet to recognize what was being shown to us. Dexter does not grow up to be the leader of the utopia. The leader is too old to remember why he is there. Dexter grows up to be number 12. A man at a desk who designs the cubicles other people will be miserable inside, taking instructions from the kid he mocked at the age of 7, unable to push back because he was never required to learn how. His intelligence was never made to function outside the one specific climate it had been grown in. That is the show. It was on for 7 years. We watched it because the small boy with the lab and the accent was funny. He wasn't funny. He was a forecast. In the final scene of Ego Trip, the world is saved because Dee Dee pressed a button. Not the smartest person in the room, the one person Dexter spent 7 seasons trying to keep out of the lab he had built to hide inside. If you were ever told you were smart and have spent any amount of your adult life waiting for the world to find you remarkable again, the show told you exactly what was coming. We just thought the kid with the accent was the joke. Dexter built a lab to escape a house that only noticed his achievements. A few networks over, in a swamp-bordered farmhouse in the middle of nowhere, a different kind of villain was failing his own protection test. He was old. He was bitter. He yelled at a small pink dog for the entire run of the show. We hated him. We never once asked who taught him how to be that way. That's the next video.